Hello, this is like my fourth time of trying to start this video. I come to you from the place where I've spent most of my time this past 5 days or so, my bed. Yes, 5 days ago I tested positive for the very first time for COVID and I was beginning to think I was some kind of special case, like I held the answer somehow to the immunity and the cure for COVID because I'd never had it in all the time, in all the 3 years of the pandemic. But yeah, tested positive for the first time for COVID. My symptoms weren't entirely typical, I don't think. I was at my stepmum's. I'd taken the girls up to see my stepmum for a day, a couple of days and one night. And we were due to come back in the evening, but I felt so grotty, like I didn't have a cough or a cold. I just felt utterly exhausted and like I was cold from the inside out. But I didn't have a temperature. So we left earlier than expected and we came home in the afternoon because I was feeling quite dizzy. I was a bit worried if I left it. I didn't really want to drive in the dark, feeling as I did. So we got home about 5. I went to bed at 6:30 and that was it. Yeah, I've had a lot of early nights, a lot of rest, listened to my body. So I am feeling a lot better, but now I'm at the tail end of it. I seem to now have coldy symptoms. So I don't know if that's part of the COVID or if I've now just got a cold, because I'm really run down. I've got like bits of eczema on my face. There's a lot of concealer involved in getting to the point of putting the camera on today, a lot. Yeah, so I haven't tested in 5 days, but there are currently no restrictions, COVID restrictions here in England. The general advice is if you have tested positive or if you have symptoms to sort of just rest, recover, try to stay away from people who have low immunity, and also after the five days after you've tested, if you're feeling well enough, you're free to re-enter the world. So today has been 5 days since I tested. Apologies if you can hear my gurgling plumbing, my unusual plumbing gurgling away. So I've spent the most part of this week doing quite a bit of reading, knitting, watching YouTube, crocheting, cross stitch, and just, you know, it sounds like it should have been an idyllic week, but it was also half term. So everybody has been at home, and Dan has also been unwell. He tested positive for COVID at the same time, but he's not been as ill. He's actually had it before. So I wonder if maybe his body recognised what was happening and just got over it a bit quicker. What am I wittering on about? Yes, so I spent a lot of time reading. So last time I saw you, I had just literally unwrapped this book, my secondhand copy of The Big Over Easy by Jasper Fforde, and I'm now 60 pages to go. I've pretty much read an almost 400-page book in just over a week, which for me is big news because generally I only read when I go to bed and I manage about 10 minutes before I'm like falling asleep. So I've had a lot of time to really get stuck in and read, and it's been wonderful. It's really rekindled my love of not reading. I've always loved reading, but you know, consuming the book, you know, making sure that I'm making time to read and looking at it and go, oh, look at that, I've read another 100 pages, and that kind of feeling of, wow, you know, if I read at this rate, I'll be finished by the weekend, that kind of thing. There's a kind of feeling of accomplishment to getting through a book that I really, really love as well. So I've read a lot of this, and then I'll be moving on to the follow-up, which is the reason I bought this book in the first place, because I discovered that I had this on my shelf, also a second-hand copy from somewhere, The Fourth Bear, which is the follow-up book to The Big Over Easy, which I didn't have, which is why I ordered it. But I explained this all in the last vlog, so I'm just repeating myself. You will hear Dan coughing in the background, by the way. I will try to cut it out, but he has this knack of starting to cough the moment I start filming. On the booky theme, we are going to venture out today to Rochester. So Dan and I both had today booked off with the intention of taking the girls down to Rochester, where we haven't been for a while. It's just a place I really love to visit. It's such a lovely town. I really appreciate the history. I love the Dickensianness of it. Dickens lived in Rochester, and a lot of the buildings there are featured in his books, and I really love visiting there. It gives me a really nice cosy feel, and there is a big second-hand bookshop there. It's called Baggins Book Bazaar. We've actually, in all the many times that we've been to Rochester, have never been there, because you have to turn left onto the high street to get to it, and we always turn right towards the old-fashioned sweet shop to buy toffee crumble. So today we're going to go, and we will turn right and buy toffee crumble because we have to get toffee crumble whilst in Rochester, but we're also going to turn left and go to the second-hand bookshop. So I'm going to finish getting dressed, because I'm only dressed from the waist up. From the waist down I'm still in my pyjamas because no outdoor clothes on the bed, thank you very much. And we're going to go and have a bit of a bookish day. Our youngest daughter Phoebe is going to a friend's house today, and we're going to drop her off on the way. Let's go. You're off to your friend's house today?
Yeah.
Your hair looks lovely.
It's because I curled it yesterday and now it looks like this.
Mm-hmm. And Lilia,
hello.
You've prepared your bookish outfit for today. Would you like to talk us through it?
Okay. I have a strawberry dress, which was Mum's, but she never wore it, so I stole it.
Oh, well, hang on,
Well,
no.
she never had
I
the
never
chance
wore
to
it
wear it.
because you stole it.
No. And then I have this jacket from a family friend. It's very nice.
Yeah.
And then I have my Mary Janes and my leg warmers.
Yes, and I've got 2 bags to go to the charity shop, not very aesthetic. And can we just see your bag?
My bag.
Fabulous little tiny satchel bag.
I'll go through my outfit. Air Forces, a Zara skirt, and this long sleeve black top from New Look, and my Primark bag.
And I'm wearing Clark's boots, skinny jeans, and a coat. And sunglasses for the first time this year. And this is
If you haven't noticed,
crocheted. This is the Moonlit shawl by Sandra of Cherry Heart.
Mum
It's a
has-
one skein crochet shawl.
Mum has 2 outfits. Jeans and a sparkly jumper with a word on it, and in the summer, denim shorts and a t-shirt.
That's it.
And when it's cold, she wears boots, and in the summer, she wears like these like slip-on trainer thingies, and no matter the weather, she wears her sunglasses.
So straight away we've been caught off guard by the fact that our usual parking road is closed. And then all of the short stay car parks were completely full. So now we're in a multi-storey car park, which is also pretty much completely full, other than all the empty electric car charging bays. So now we need to find our way from here into the town. Never parked.
Down there.
Oh, look.
A door?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it says exit that way, unless that's... Yeah, let's go this way.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh, it smells like me as well.
Has all the car park stairwell shut. Jellyfish. And starfish at the moment.
I have to do this in size order.
Oh, okay. For Lilia. Very good condition.
I've got
I
you.
know, it's a new one.
For me, not so good condition, but I think it was like 40p or something. And pristine condition for Lilia. Pretty good. We've got another bookshop to go to. And a sweet shop, which is that one there.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I am so happy that I got a Sherlock book. I need to get snacks from you, Jane.
Yeah. I want my topping from Oh, toffee crumble.
Because this is mugs. Oh, I should get another mini bag.
You know when you think you're feeling a lot better, so you dash off to Rochester and spend the afternoon looking at used books and then realise that actually you don't feel that much better after all. I'm back in bed, fully pyjamaed up, and I'm intending to stay here for at least the next couple of hours. I've got my phone so I can text Dan to demand supplies, like I could do with a Diet Coke, something fizzy, I think. Yeah, I might ask him to bring me my Diet Coke. So I think what I'm going to try and do is finish my book, my last 60 pages. I didn't do a big shopping spree while we were there. Nothing caught my eye enough to bring home other than one very small little book that you would have already seen when we were sitting in the cafe. I bought The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I've never read it, so I bought it and I've had a little look, and the text is not ridiculously small and it's 163 pages, so I figured, and this might be wishful thinking, if I finish this one today I might be able to read this over the weekend. I will keep you posted on my reading over the weekend. Starting with the last, what page am I on? Chapter 39, page 325. And I believe there are 390 odd pages in here. So I'm going to settle down and read this. By the way, I've already wiped this and disinfected it, because I always have to do that when I get a second-hand book. I've also washed my hands thoroughly from all of that pouring in second-hand books as well. Thank you for bringing me my Diet Coke.
You're very welcome. I'm being followed by the cat.
I can hear her.
Lilia and I are watching Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, are you?
She's loving
without
it.
me.
Yeah.
I love that.
She's
Okay.
really, really enjoying it.
I'm nearly finished my book.
Okay. Have fun. See you soon.
Bye. Love you.
Love you too.
You're back from the shops and you bought me daffodils.
It was Dad's idea.
Oh, they're so pretty.
They are. There was loads in Asda's.
Will you put them in water for
I
me?
will. Do you want me to cut the stems?
No, bung them in water, I'll sort them out.
You sure?
Unless you like cutting the stems.
At the diagonal angle?
Yeah. Go on then. Thank you, Lydia.
Bye.
It is 5 o'clock and I have just finished my book. I'm so pleased. I started this last Wednesday and today is Friday. So that is 1 week and 2 days, which is really quick for me and is entirely thanks to having COVID, which has given me lots of time in bed. So I finished it, and I think whilst I'm still in the Jasper Fforde writing style zone, I want to get straight into the second book, which is the same characters. Oh look, don't know if you can see, but I've spilt a bit of my tea on it. Good job I have a box of tissues to hand. Sorry about the terrible lighting, by the way. It's quite dark outside now and I've got light behind me, and it doesn't help that I already look dreadful. Anyway, before I get stuck into that second book, I would like to see if I can read The Great Gatsby over the course of the weekend. So I bought this for, I think, £2. It's either £2 or 40p. Both of those prices are written inside it. So there's an introduction of a page, and then we're straight into chapter 1 on page 19 of 163. I'm going to give it a go. I've got a new app that I discovered. So where I've been watching a few book review videos whilst I've been languishing with COVID, and I discovered through those an app called Storygraph. I'll put a link to my very newly, just today, set up profile in the description box underneath. And I don't really like using sort of apps for monitoring my reading. I've got a little notebook where I just write it all down manually, and I don't like Goodreads that much, but I have to say I do quite like this Storygraph. So I've put in the books that I'm reading and the ones that I've got coming up, and I've got a few more to add, but I'll put a link to that underneath just in case you're interested, because you can also add them as audiobooks. You can choose find the book that you like, and there's a little link that says editions, so you can find the exact edition you've got either by looking for it or by using the ISBN code, or you can filter to find the audio version. And because I listen to a lot of audio books, I thought that was really, really good. So yes, but I'm going to go and sit downstairs for a little bit now, maybe do a bit of knitting before I do any more reading, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow. On Saturday, I had to pick up a birthday gift for a lovely old friend, and I wanted to get her a book to put in with it. So it was the perfect excuse for more book trawling, this time at Waterstones. I could spend all day in Waterstones, I really could. I love the way they group books into different categories on the display tables. Books everyone is talking about. Where do people talk about these books? Do you know? Let me know if you do know, because I want to go and listen to them talking about the books. Will that fit the book in?
You've got the book in your bag, why don't you take it out and pop it in?
It's Sunday and I have returned to bed. It's 1:15. I have actually been up and done some housework, and I've put a ham in the slow cooker for later. We're going to have slow cooked ham with roasted vegetables. I've been doing a little bit of reading, and I am currently doing the thumbnail for my podcast, which is due to go up in a couple of hours. So I just want to get that done. The Great Gatsby. So I didn't read it at all, maybe about 10 pages yesterday when I was waiting for Phoebe to come out of her drama school. And I've read a little bit more today. So I'm up to page 43. I don't consider myself to be a very intelligent reader. I think if I'd studied this at school, I'd understand a great deal more of the underlying messages of the story. There's been some really racist comments from the character Tom. Now I will be Googling this and seeing if this is a sort of deliberate sort of comment by the author, F. Scott Fitzgerald, and to see what that's all about, because I know that this is considered to be an incredible novel, and I'm wondering if the author's actually making a comment on attitudes of the time that it was written, or I don't know. Like I say, this is just me saying stuff aloud without any kind of knowledge or understanding, but yeah, it's quite interesting so far. Very old-fashioned language, and I'm hoping to get at least half of it read today. I'm on page 40 something though. I'm going through it a lot quicker than I expected, so who knows, I will keep you updated. But first I'm going to do my thumbnail. Lilia, my eldest daughter, is downstairs. Her boyfriend's coming around for lunch. I'm just going to leave them to it, which is why I'm up here mainly, and also because I'm still feeling pretty grotty. Dan has taken Phoebe to football, so they'll be gone for a good few hours. So I've got plenty of time to just sit. Normally on a Sunday I would use this time to do housework, tidy up, get ahead on some notes, parcelling up orders and so on. Not today. I'm going to be in bed reading. Do not adjust your screens. I am not in bed. I am on the sofa downstairs. It is now Tuesday and I wanted to finish this vlog and give you a little update on how the reading was going and also how I'm feeling. So I am due to go back to work tomorrow. I've already spoken to my boss about what to do if I'm still testing positive. So I'll test before I go in tomorrow, and the idea is that I can just follow the government guidelines. So as long as I'm feeling well enough, as it's now been way over a week since I originally tested positive, I will be able to go back to work. So I am going to. I'm still not feeling 100% back and up and running, but I am well enough, I think, to go and do a day's work. My job is quite sedentary. I work in an office, so I think I'll be okay. I think the hardest thing will be the drive into work. I think that's going to be interesting, but I've got a new audiobook on the go. I finished the rather terrible one that I was listening to before, and I started Miss Benson's Beetle, read by Juliet Stevenson. It's a book by Rachel Joyce, who wrote one of my favourite books of last year, The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. Juliet Stevenson is doing a fantastic job of narrating it, so that will make my my drive to and from work a lot more bearable. And I have finished The Great Gatsby, I'm very happy to say. I finished it yesterday, so I basically read it over Sunday, well, mainly on Sunday actually, and I finished the last 20 odd pages last night. So yeah, I was really pleased that I did. I'm still struggling to put like where my feelings are on it. Basically, I felt it was a novel about really awful people with no morals and more money than sense or anything else good. It was amazing how the characters were so good for such a short novel. This is 163 pages and I thought the characters were excellent for such a short story. I think it's possibly very much of its time, but also very much of now in many ways. It seems to cover race, gender, class, tragedy. What the novel is actually about, I can't quite put my finger on, but then I found a quote from F. Scott Fitzgerald himself that said, "Of all the reviews, even the most enthusiastic, not one had the slightest idea what the book was about." So if I don't get it, then it sounds like I'm in fairly large company. But I enjoyed it, and it's made me want to watch the film actually, because they made the film with Leonardo DiCaprio, didn't they? So, and I don't think I've ever seen that, so I think I might pop that on later whilst I'm doing some editing. Thank you so much for watching this little bookish vlog, this little reading vlog, and I hope you enjoyed spending a few days with me, having a good old browse around bookshops and reading and so on. And let me know in the comments what you're reading. I'd love to hear, and I always love recommendations. And if you are on the app that I mentioned, on the Storygraph app, which I will link underneath, let me know if you're on there, because it'd be nice to connect with people. And I will see you again in the next video. Until then, stay well, take care, bye.